That the jumpers are about to exit the aircraft, very similar to what you saw just a moment ago. There's the smoke trailing. Jumpers are away. The jumpers are now in free fall, falling at over 120 miles an hour at a prescribed altitude. The jumpers will track away from each other. You're about to see that happen right now. They're flying their bodies, twisting around in a corkscrew shape. They look at an altimeter attached to their wrists or on their parachute harness, and at the precise prescribed altitude, they will move and track away from each other. The third smoke trail that you see, one of the jumpers with photography equipment, with video equipment, taking pictures of the other two as they come down. Now watch as they track and separate away from each other so that their canopies will not interfere with each other. All of the techniques that you'll witness require great skill and hundreds of practice jumps. So don't try this at home, folks. Many times people ask us, why would we jump out of a perfectly good airplane? In this, we have two answers. First, there's no such thing as a perfectly good airplane, and you can take my word for that. I've only been flying them for 35 years. And secondly, why not? We have a perfectly good parachute. That's the best reason, and I started jumping out airplanes back in 1964, so I believe every word that they say. Now, look at the maneuverability of these parachutes. You see one jumper making very, very steep, twisting turns. There's another example of a hook turn. What they are trying to do right now is to lose altitude very quickly by setting up that very, very steep spiraling turn. They're measuring those winds, and they're thinking that with these strong winds aloft, they may not make it right here to the target area. So they are going to do these turns and reduce some altitude very quickly so that they can get right down here and set up a beautiful landing into the wind. Now, you know the wind is coming from left to right. Now watch, see as he turns directly into the wind, he's facing the wind. That slows down his speed over the ground, believe it or not. Look at that, a beautiful stand-up tiptoe landing right in front of you here. Using the wind and the forward drive of that parachute some 22 miles an hour to be able to slow down to a beautiful landing. Here comes our second jumper. Once again, turning into the wind. Little correction across to set it right down where he wants to. And look at the wind slow him down. Brakes are coming on. He brings his hands down from his shoulders. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful soft landing. Now, if you look toward the runway and back over your left shoulder, you'll see that the other two jumpers have put their parachutes together. Their main parachute is constructed of ripstop nylon and has the shape of an airplane wing. These square canopies are completely controllable by pulling on right and left steering lines. And by pulling down on both of those lines, it tends to slow down the descent rate of the parachute. Now you see, they actually had three parachutes all connected. They're drifting away from each other now and coming down individually. I suspect that what they were doing was, as they had that canopy stack put together, all three parachutes, it changes their rate of descent for all three parachutes. And they're looking at these very strong winds that they have up there, and I suspect what they were doing was saying, I think we better break this up, guys, so that we can get down to where we want to be. They need the extreme maneuverability of individual parachutes, and we expect, yeah, there's the first of the hook turns starting now. He's checking his altitude, checking how fast he's moving across the ground, and saying, I think it's time to get down. We talked about how they use these steering lines. To make the turns, pull down on the left one, you turn to the left, pull down to the right, you go to the right. But when they set up for the landing, you'll see that both hands start out about shoulder level. And they'll pull down on both steering lines equally at the same time. Now about halfway down till they check that descent rate, and just in the last few feet, you'll see the hands come all the way down, putting on full brakes. It changes the shape of the canopy, and it actually changes the descent rate. And with these winds that we have here at the surface, maybe 8 to 10 miles an hour, it's enough wind that if he pulls down too rapidly on full brakes, he may even actually ascend. You may see him rise for about a foot or two before he touches down. So let's watch and see how all that works out. There's a turn into the wind, another right-hand turn, checking it, brake, half brakes, half brakes, half brakes, and a beautiful stand-up, straight down landing. Not much brakes needed, they're just driving. Oh my, look at it, he almost ascended, almost went back up again. Look at these beautiful landings, perfect winds and perfect landings. by your United States Navy parachute team, the Leapfrogs. Okay, and if you want to find out more about the team, you can check them out on their website. That's www.seal.navy.mil, that is. The Leapfrogs got their start in